Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Saturday, August 19th, around 7:45 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. British Columbia wildfires intensify, doubling evacuations to over 35,000 in just a day. There are over 100 fires currently burning in British Columbia, and the big ones are up here near the Northwest Territories. More on that in just a moment. Keep calm. It's boom time. We've got Hurricane Hilary prompting historic tropical storm warning for California as the Southwest braces for dangerous rain and flash flooding. Here is the current position of Hilary as of Advisory 14A. Sustained winds at 100 miles per hour, putting it still at Cat 2 as it makes its way by tomorrow morning into California. And there is already flooding before the system even has arrived. There's already flooding in Southern California, which is bad news for things to come. Let's take a look at how far some of this moisture is moving. There's the center of circulation all the way down here by the tip of Baja, and there's moisture already all the way up into Canada from this system. And it has another 24 hours before it even makes its way to California. So this is going to be an epic, historic flooding event. Take a look at all the rain happening here in western Arizona there, even near Phoenix. Most of Arizona covered in clouds as that moisture is going to be moving in here in the next 24 to 36 hours. Hours of powers. Here are the key messages for Hurricane Hilary. Preparations for flooding impact should be completed as soon as possible, as heavy rainfall will begin well in advance of the center. As we showed you, it's already up into Canada. In the southwest U.S., flash flooding is going to be the most severe, with potentially historic amounts of rainfall expected to cause flash urban and arroyo floods, including landslides, mudslides, debris flows. Dangerous to locally catastrophic flooding impacts are expected late tonight through early Monday. So if you live in a low-lying area, please take heed and evacuate. Hurricane conditions are expected along the western central coast of the Baja California Peninsula within the hurricane warning area tonight and Sunday morning, and are possible in the hurricane watch areas on Sunday. Tropical storm conditions are expected to begin Sunday in portions of the southwest U.S. within the tropical storm warning area, and there is going to be rain. Here's the greatest flash flood risk over the next 72 hours. If you are east of Bakersfield, heads up, there is going to be lots of potential, 70% potential for flash flooding in the pink zone. Here is the U.S. rainfall modified, and you can see there is a huge line here and spatterings of over 6 to 15 inches. Over 6 inches in many areas. One little area right here in Southern California, 10 to 15 inches. So the 1 to 3 day rainfall forecast is looking record-breaking, and that means flash flooding. So heed the warnings. Catalina and the mountainous areas are urged to evacuate. That's Catalina Island, apparently. So please take heed and be safe. Here's the full forecast. Hurricane Hilary to impact the southwest. Heavy rainfall associated with Hilary is forecast to develop across the southwestern U.S. today, well in advance of the storm's center, and continue through the weekend, with the heaviest amounts expected on Sunday, which will be our fun day here in the western U.S. Dangerous and locally catastrophic flooding impacts are likely. Large swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and rip currents to portions of Southern California. Lots of people are going to lose. There will be loss of life here. So when in doubt, do the right thing. Don't drive through the water and get to higher ground. And heed the warnings if there are evacuation warnings in your area. Huge areas of the West under flood watches. So be warned. Now on to the British Columbia wildfires intensifying. Kelowna, British Columbia, August 19th. Forest fires in Canada's western province of British Columbia intensified further on Saturday, doubling the number of people under an evacuation order. And this has brought the number to 35,000 from a day earlier, as authorities warn of difficult days ahead. That means it's not going to be very easy. The province declared a state of emergency on Friday to access temporary authoritative powers to tackle the fire-related risks as out-of-control fires ripped through interior British Columbia and partially shut down some sections of a key transit route between the Pacific coast and the rest of Western Canada. Bad news. Tons of fires. Most of the big ones are up here in the north. Take a look at this. 500,000 hectares or more for these two big fires. And I think this is the Yellowknife region up here. I could be mistaken. But it is, in fact, these fires that are causing those evacuations. And there is good news on the horizon. Well, the bad news. The smoke map is showing that there is going to be large amounts of smoke coming down and inundating the Pacific Northwest over the next 3 days, with moderate smoke and haze up in the Great Lakes region. But this may all be coming to an end as the models show. Well, here, let's move these through. That as this system moves up into the region here, by Wednesday and Thursday, heavy amounts of rain in that region will be falling. And if we move it through the end of August, there is going to be a significant amount of moisture coming to Canada, which will help put out hundreds of fires up in the wilderness there. Seismic update, no quakes of note. Just standard activity worldwide. Really nothing to report on, which is good news. Worldwide volcano news update. Popo to 20,000. Bagana, 10,000 foot banger. We've got Fuego and Sangay. Fuego to 16,000. Sangay to 21. Ebico puffing today to 10,000 feet. Sabancay to 23. Semaru to 14. Mayon also puffing. Reventador to 14,000. And Ubinus also still quite active as it is sweltering here as the sun is setting. Now, we did report on Campi Flegrei the other night. There was an intense earthquake swarm that peaked with an M3.6 event, and the seismic crisis ended. In fact, one of the largest seismic swarms since the seismic crisis in 1982 to 84, which is quite significant. It means something could be afoot at Campi Flegrei. So we're keeping a close eye on the earthquakes, especially as they are with depth. And you can see over the last week, all the quakes are above 5 kilometers. There's that huge flurry of activity. It looks like it increased and is now decreasing, but earthquakes still happening in that danger zone. So we'll keep a close eye on Campi Flegrei for you as things develop. Space weather news update. Looking at solar hand for August 19th shows that X-ray flux is quite low, still in the B range at B 7.4. No major flares. In fact, nothing happening at solar max here on the sun. Even though there are sunspots, it appears as if nothing major is coming around the limb here. And there was a coronal mass ejection earlier today from behind the limb. In fact, here's the limb eruption. A coronal mass ejection was visible today in the latest chronograph imagery leaving the east limb. A nice eruption beyond the limb was observed on both GO-16 and SDO, but there is no spot visible coming around the limb. But on the backside watch, you can see this dark area is now moving towards the limb. So we should be seeing evidence of a large sunspot equatorial in just a few days. And equatorial sunspots, well, you know what that means? It means the cycle is coming to an end. And here we can see spots right in the center, as predicted by the butterfly diagram. Solar max is near. Now, save the date, September 16th and 17th, 2023, the 34th annual free event, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. both days. The Crestone Energy Fair, Reimagine Self, Village, and Nature. The annual Crestone Energy Fair is a San Luis Valley tradition for more than 30 years. This free event showcases innovative ideas around construction, energy, and regenerative living from around the region. Join us in this unforgettable celebration of music, performance arts, culture, wellness, and sustainable living in Crestone, Colorado, September 16th and 17th. Good news, for the first time ever, Rex Bear is going to be joining us at the Crestone Energy Fair and tabling right next to us. Also, we're going to have guest appearances. Alien Allen will be there all weekend, picking up the security detail, well, and signing autographs. And if you have a minute right after this video, join us at Magnetic Reversal News for an expose on propaganda versus science. including new papers coming out on cosmic catastrophes. The Hopewell Comet catastrophe is debunked in one paper. Locker Sea volcano is redated to the Younger Dryas event. And there is a record 520-kilometer impact structure that was found in Australia. So awesome stuff Lee and I are going to be talking about in just a few moments. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video as we are shadow banned and we need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. Watch all of our content commercial-free in one place. And if you don't have a dime, you can just share the video. It's free. Hit that thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. Be safe. We love you. And that is a boom. We'll see you over at Magnetic Reversal News in just a moment.